So there's various reports and of various sources that Adrien Broner looks set to take on Lee Selby of all people in his comeback fight since his loss back in January at the hands of Manny Pacquiao. They're basically just deciding on kind of what weight this fight is going to be at, or whether it's going to be at a catch weight or something like that. And it looks likely to take place later on this year in the States. Now, Lee Selby for an opponent for Adrien Broner, I really would not have seen that coming. Lee Selby, he only had his first fight at lightweight back there in February. It was against a guy called Omar Douglas. The review's on this channel, and I said in that review that I didn't feel Lee Selby was going to be that much of a threat at lightweight because I didn't think he was necessarily the biggest lightweight in the world. And if he's going to fight Adrien Broner, who's been, campaigning at welterweight/light welterweight, you would imagine that this weight is either going to be kind of maybe 138 or maybe a little over 140, given Adrien Broner with, his weight issues over the years. So it's going to be, Lee Selby's going to have a pretty sizable, disadvantage in terms of the size in this fight. And Adrien Broner, I know he is just, what is Adrien Broner? He is just an absolute car crash outside of the ring. And some people might say in the ring, when he fights these world level guys, he just can never seem to let his hands go. And, every time he stepped up to world level, he's lost. But, yeah, outside the ring, Adrien Broner, he's an interesting character. He's always in the news for the wrong reasons, of course, whether it be, assault, robbery, or whatever the hell it is. Adrien Broner, he's an interesting character. But this fight, if he was to fight Lee Selby, I would definitely make Adrien Broner favourite in the fight. I think Adrien Broner be much naturally bigger than Lee Selby. Lee Selby coming up from featherweight, realistically. And, Lee Selby, although he was a good featherweight, he's really unproven at weights like lightweight. And if this fight does take place at light welter, definitely unproven at that level. In terms of world level, you might not put Adrien Broner quite at world level anymore, but close to. And, I think he'd beat Lee Selby. I think he'd actually stop Lee Selby. I don't think he'd stop him in terms of, down for a 10 count. But Lee Selby in his last two fights has been cut up pretty bad across the eyes. And from what I can gather, the scar tissue over his eyes, both eyes, hasn't fully healed because it opened up again in his last fight against Omar Douglas and it was bleeding. It wasn't bleeding as bad as it was against Warrington, but it was still bleeding. And, if Adrien Broner can land a couple of shots on Lee Selby, I would expect that scar tissue to open up again. And, in the US, especially on, a Broner card, because they are both advised by Al Heyman, but you would imagine this would be kind of the Adrien Broner show. You would imagine that Lee Selby might not get any favours, and if it's bleeding bad enough, they might just look to stop it. So I would definitely be making Broner favourite in this fight. Lee Selby's a decent boxer, but especially a featherweight, I always kind of felt that he was maybe overpraised a bit. Because although he was a good boxer, he never really beat anybody. He beat Stephen Smith back when they were both down at a British level, but Stephen Smith is really a fringe world level contender. And, when he stepped up to fight Josh Warrington, most people weren't giving Warrington much of a shout. I'll admit, in that fight, although I wasn't making videos at the time, I was picking Lee Selby, but I wasn't shocked that Josh Warrington won. I was shocked that Josh Warrington won as easily as he did. But, I don't know, Lee Selby, I've always just kind of felt that he was maybe overpraised a bit. They called him the Welsh Mayweather at one stage, and, I always felt they kind of went a bit overboard with Lee Selby. But him against Broner, although Broner has, all sorts of issues outside the ring and inside the ring, Adrien Broner has a bit of talent. He does. But I just think that whatever talent he has, he squanders by making these mistakes. By, when he moves up to kind of world level, he always struggles to let his hands go. He did against Maidana. He did against Sean Porter. He did against Mikey Garcia. And, of course, did against Manny Pacquiao. He's always shown a good chin, Broner, let's not be said. And Lee Selby's not a puncher. So, would Adrien Broner even have any respect for Lee Selby's power? Doubt it. So that's why, again, I would expect Adrien Broner to win. But, it's an interesting fight. It's a fight I wouldn't necessarily have expected to have heard get made, just given the difference in weight and given where they both are in their careers. You have Lee Selby just only starting out at lightweight, and you have Adrien Broner, who was competing, as I said, at welterweight, actually, in his last fight against Manny Pacquiao. So it'll be interesting to see if and when this fight takes place, what weight it'll be at. And I'd make Broner favourite. Let me know what you think down below. Would you be surprised to hear this fight getting made like myself was? And who do you think could win? Let me know down in the comment section. Of course, like the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you're new, and as always, I will talk to you after.